Hello students, as we have discussed about ethers, its preparation and physical properties. Let us discuss the chemical properties of ethers. Ethers are quite inert and stable compounds. They are the least reactive functional groups. Because of this reason, ethers compound having less chemical reactivity. They do not undergo oxidation, reduction. Moreover, they do not react with active metals and base like the alcohols. However, it gives some reactions with strong acids. So the two general type of reactions which occurs in ethers are the first one, that is reaction involving the cleavage of CO bond. The second one is electrophilic substitution reaction in aromatic ring. So in this video, we'll be discussing about the cleavage of CO bond in ethers, that is the reaction with HX. Ethers are least reactive of the functional groups. The cleavage of CO bond takes place under the drastic conditions with excess of hydrogen halide, that is HX. So the reaction takes place in the presence of excess of hydrogen halide. Let us look at the equation. That is ROR plus HX give rise to RX plus ROH. Here the cleavage of CO bond takes place. So cleavage of CO bond. So this OR and H, what it can form? It form alcohol. And the rest of them, that is this R, one of the alkyl group, and the X will form the product, that is RX. So how you can easily frame the product? First of all, cleavage of O, that is a CO bond, cleavage of CO bond, and the H, that is RO and H, that give rise to the product alcohol, and the rest of the part, that is the R, one of the alkyl group, and the X can form halide. So this is the easy way to frame the product. So it gives rise to a alcohol and a halide is formed. But this alcohol further combines with HX, that give rise to the product, that is RX plus H2O. Look at here how we frame the product here. That is this OH group and this H together it forms water. So the rest of the part, that is the R from here and X from here, makes the product, that is RX. So what we are getting here, when you make the sum of these two equations, we get ROR plus 2HX give rise to twice RX plus H2O. So what are the main product which is formed during this reaction? That is a halide. So you can see that halide is the product which is formed during this reaction. The order of reactivity of hydrogen halide, that is HX, as follow. As HI is most reactive, then HBr, then HCl. So that means that HI is most reactive towards the reaction, that is the reaction of ethers with HX. As we have already discussed, bond length. When you compare the bond length, greater is the bond length in the case of HI, because the large size of halogen group in this, that is I. So we can say that greater is the bond length here, easy to break. So when you compare with HCl, HBr and HI, HI is the most reactive towards the reaction of ether with hydrogen halide, that is HX. Since in ethers, that is ROR, it does not contain any active site in their molecule, that is in the functional group O, it does not contain any active group like alcohol. In alcohol, when you compare with ethers, there is an active site that is H here, but it does not have such active site in their functional group. So because of this reason, they show less reactivity. So the reaction only takes place at a drastic condition, that is concentrated HI or HBr at high temperature. This reaction takes place only in the drastic condition, that is concentrated HI or HBr at high temperature. So once again look at the equation for symmetrical ethers and unsymmetrical ethers. Symmetrical ethers where the two alkyl groups are same, and unsymmetrical means the two alkyl groups are different. When you look at the equation, first equation we have already discussed, there is a formation of a side product here, that is cleavage of CO bond and one H from here. So what is the product form? That is alcohol is one of the product and halide is the other product. But in the case of unsymmetrical ethers, there will be a confusion that which alkyl part can form halide and which alkyl part can form alcohol, because here both the alkyl groups are not same. So let us do this explanation with example. Let us first take an example of a symmetrical ether. Symmetrical ether, that means both the alkyl groups are same. So plus HI. So here one of the product will be a alcohol, that is how we frame this product. One of the product will be an alcohol, that is CH3OH, and the other one will be CH3I. The different colors are used so you can easily find out which is the product here. But in this case both the alkyl groups are same. So there will be no confusion that which can form alcohol, which can form halide. But if we take another example, that is an unsymmetrical ether. Unsymmetrical, why? Because here both the alkyl group are different. One of the group is methyl, the other group is ethyl. So in this case, we need to remember that if there is an unsymmetrical ether and the reaction is taking place with HI, so in that case, here because both the alkyl group are primary, that is CH3 group, C2H5 group, both are primary alkyl group. In that case, the least, that is the smaller alkyl group can form halide. So from this one, which is the smaller alkyl group? When you compare with methyl and ethyl, which is the smaller alkyl group? Definitely the methyl is smaller alkyl group. CH3 plus I give rise to CH3I. That means the smaller alkyl group, that is the methyl here, forms the halide. So what is the other one here? What we have the other part? That is this part. So this can form a alcohol. So once again I will tell you, if unsymmetrical ether is given to us and if both the alkyl groups are different, that is unsymmetrical, and both are the primary alkyl group like methyl and ethyl, in this case you have to identify the alkyl group which is least size. That means the smaller alkyl group you have to identify. So that will form halide. Halide means I here. So that is form of CH3I. So lower alkyl group forms the halide. So which one is the larger alkyl group? That is C2H5. So that can form alcohol. So we can say that the product will be CH3I plus C2H5OH. In the case of this example, here there is one of the alkyl group is secondary and one of the alkyl group is primary. So when you look at here, this part, that is this group is a methyl group and this is the secondary group, secondary alkyl group, that is isopropyl. So in that case also, just like we have done for the primary, in the secondary also we will be making the product, that is the smaller alkyl group. This is the smaller alkyl group. It forms the halide, that is CH3I. So what is the rest of the portion? The rest of the portion, that is this portion, can form alcohol. So you can see how easily you can frame the product. Once you have identified which can gives halide, you can easily frame the product like so. Here the cleavage will be, this cleavage takes place. So this CH3 and here I will make CH3I, and the rest of the part with the H give rise to alcohol. So here which cleavage is taking place, which bond is undergoing cleavage? That is, this bond is undergoing cleavage. So the product will be CH3I and this one will be the alcohol. So that is for the case of primary and secondary alkyl group. But if there is a tertiary alkyl group, like in this case, this is the tertiary alkyl group. One of the R is tertiary alkyl group, the other one is CH3. In that case, the tertiary part, that is this part, will form the halide. So this can form the halide, the other part can form alcohol. So that is most important point which you need to remember here. So when the ethers is reacting with the HX, in that case, for primary and secondary alkyl group, you have to choose the smallest alkyl group will form halide, that is I. The smallest part can form I, halide. But the case of tertiary alkyl group, like in this case, the tertiary part is actually forming the halide, not the smallest, because here the smallest one is methyl. So methyl is forming an alcohol. So what we can say that here the tertiary part will form halide. So why it happens, that explanation is in mechanism. So let us discuss the mechanism of this. Step 1. In the step 1, here ether plus HI give rise to protonated ether. You can see the lone pair of oxygen is taken. So this H get combined on this one. So I negative left here. So this is formed here. That is an protonated ether or the oxonium ion. So we can say that in the first step, protonation of ether takes place to form protonated ether, which is also called as oxonium ion. This is the protonated ether, or we can call it as oxonium ion. Now in the second step, here I negative, that is iodide ion, is a good nucleophile. The protonated ethers undergoes nucleophilic attack by the iodide ion and displaces an alcohol molecule by SN2 mechanism. That is important, by SN2 mechanism, and therefore it forms a alkyl halide and alcohol. So here the SN2 mechanism takes place as we have discussed in the previous chapter of organic. I negative is a nucleophile. So it is a nucleophilic substitution, but which type of substitution? That is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. So there is a formation of an intermediate, and this result in the formation of a alkyl halide and alcohol. Third step, when HI in excess and the reaction is carried out at high temperature, then ethanol formed react with another HI. So it react with another HI that result in the formation of a halide and water, as we have discussed first in that equation. So first step, there is a formation of alcohol. That alcohol is further undergoes a reaction with the excess of HI which is present in the reagent mixture. So this give rise to again a halide plus water. So that is the step third. So here there is again formation of halide. But in the case of the compound of ethers which have a tertiary alkyl group, as we have discussed, the tertiary alkyl group in this example, in such a case, the step 2 of the reaction, in this the departure of leaving group that is OCH3 group create a more stable carbocation. So this is the formation of a protonated ether that is taking place in the second step. But in the case of a tertiary alkyl group, that type of ethers, here there will be a formation of a more stable carbocation. That is, with the removal of this part, there is a formation of a carbocation. And when you look at this one, it is a tertiary carbocation. And tertiary carbocation is more stable carbocation. So this one will combines with I negative easily and form the halide. So that is why in the case of the compounds of ethers having a tertiary alkyl group can form halide. Instead of alcohol, it forms halide. The reason? Because during the second step, it undergoes SN1 mechanism. That is important. Here, SN1 mechanism takes place. So, in SN1 mechanism, there is a formation of carbocation. So, here there is a formation of carbocation. That is the most stable carbocation. That's a tertiary carbocation. So, it results in the formation of halide instead of alcohol. So, this is the reason that in this case, SN1 mechanism is taking place, but in the case of primary and secondary alkyl group of ethers, SN2 mechanism is taking place. So what we can say that if ethers having 1 degree and 2 degree alkyl group, in that case, the least alkyl group form the halide because the reaction is taking place by SN2 mechanism. But if the alkyl group is tertiary, then it forms tertiary halide. The tertiary halides are formed because the reaction takes place by SN1 mechanism. So this is the most important point which you need to remember for doing the problems. But in the case of alkyl aryl ethers, like which is given here the structure, in that case the cleavage of that is alkyl oxygen bond cleavage takes place instead of this bond, because due to the resonance there is a partial double bond between the oxygen and this carbon atom. So because of the partial double bond here, the cleavage of this bond is difficult. So we can say that due to the more stable aryl oxygen bond, that is, this is aryl carbon oxygen, this bond is more stable because of the partial double bond due to resonance. So because of this reason, we can say this bond get cleaved. That means alkyl oxygen bond cleavage takes place. So definitely what will be the product form? That is, due to this cleavage, this R, that is R and this X together form RX, plus this O is already here and one H from here, so OH. So what we are getting the product, that is phenol is the product and RX. That means the alkyl part will form halide here. So what is the reason here? Because of the more stable aryl oxygen bond. Because of this reason, it gives rise to the product, that is phenol plus RX. So we can say that in the case of anisole, the methyl phenyl oxonium ion, which is formed during the mechanism due to the protonation of this ether, the bond cleavage, that is the bond between OCH3 is weaker than the bond between OC6H5 because the carbon of phenyl group is sp2 hybridized and there is a partial double bond character. As I told you, in the C6H5O, this is more stable, that is aryl oxygen bond is more stable because of the partial double bond character due to resonance. So the cleavage of which bond is more possibility? That this cleavage is more possible instead of this. So we can say that due to this reason, there will be a formation of a phenol and there is a formation of RX. So this is all about the reaction of ethers with HX. It is one of the most important type of reaction of ethers and the usually question will be from this area. So this is all about and the mechanism is also important. So have a nice day.